On today's episode of Decentering Men, I say this with respect, but getting chosen by a man is not an accomplishment. Getting engaged, life event, not an accomplishment. Getting married, life event, not an accomplishment. Having a baby, life event, not an accomplishment. And if that triggers you, I want you to sit in the discomfort that is. Because the reason that your mind automatically goes into defense mode is because you have been sold an idea that those are the biggest things that you could ever accomplish in your life. And up until pretty much like maybe 30 years ago in human history, that is kind of the biggest things that women could do. And right now, our generation, because of our grandmothers, because of our mothers, shout out to them, we no longer are capped there. That glass ceiling was shattered by them because that's all that they could do. And they were like, I will not perpetuate a world in which that's all my daughter can do. So I would encourage you, yet still, you can want those things. You can want engagement and marriage and babies. I'm not saying be single forever. Like if that's not what you want, that's fine. However, have goals outside of there. Because I think that the whole concept of women literally not having goals other than being a wife and a mom is not only psychotic, but also it's perpetuating this old ass narrative that those are the only things that are worth women doing at all. And I encourage you to have a goal, even if it's, I want to do 3 pull-ups unassisted. I want to build a business. I want to build a company. I want to run a team. I don't care what it is. Have a goal outside of anything relating to romance, because that is going to be your first act of decentering men.
Khalil, former NFL lineman, was in the news a few months ago when his ex, who is a influencer, she came out and said the reason why they got divorced was because of their sex life, primarily that his was like 2 Coke cans and it was too big for them to be intimate.
I mean, that is,
and now,
whether it's true or not, that is a brilliant strategy for a woman. If you want to get out of this relationship without him being angered, because honestly, any woman says, we have to break up, your is too big. Any man is going to go, I mean, you got to do what you got to do, baby.
Well, plot twist. Yeah. He's suing her. What? He's suing her for, defamation or
this harmed his reputation.
Yeah, let's see. Let me find out the exact. He's breaking his silence
right now,
in the form of a lawsuit.
I'm going to make a blanket release right now of every woman who's ever been in my life. If you ever tell any newspaper or magazine or website that the reason we broke up was that my penis was too big, I will appreciate that. It will not be actionable. I release you from any claims. I'll give you a free offer code for trustedprenup.com. I'll send you a bottle of scotch. Don't make me, I will increase the ante of this. This is that's an amazing, how could you claim that? I mean, to sustain a libel or slander claim, you would have to say that this would hold him up to personal or professional scorn.
Well, okay, wait, let me clarify, because it looks like it's not slander or defamation. It says, Matt claims that because of the remarks, there's, quote, unwanted attention and invasive commentary from the public, that there's increasingly frequent, disturbing, and alarming nature of comments, and that his family members have been, quote, forced to endure the ongoing public circulation of these degrading and deeply personal statements.
Oh my God.
And then saying that
his dad should be like, comes from me.
I think this might be the main part here, though. That
first of all, that photo of her, she's very small. So it might just make it look bigger relatively. You know what I mean?
Like Andre the Giant holding a Coke can.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it says Matt claims that she was able to, quote, financially benefit from this surge in traffic. So maybe that's it. Like, you're just making money off my name after we broke up.
You're
and
literally
I don't like
riding my. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
So is that illegal? Let me read a couple of the terms here.
No.
Highly intimate and private facts regarding the plaintiff's physical person and sexual life, and that Haley receives a substantial financial benefit. Is that enough to?
Yeah, I mean, look, the basic. Just quick legal education. The basics of civil suits, right? What we call torts, which is civil wrongs. You have to show duty, breach, causation. Okay, so duty is you had a duty to do or refrain from doing something. Breach is you breached that duty, and then you have to have cause, which is your behavior, your breach of duty or failure to do something you were supposed to do or doing something you weren't supposed to do was a direct cause of harm. So you need duty, breach, causation, harm. So in this situation, the harm is that he's suffered unwanted attention, that he's, received, all of these, negative feelings or whatever. He's embarrassed. His family's embarrassed. Okay. She had a duty not to disclose his private information. Her failure to comply with that duty, that her breaching that duty was a proximate cause of the damages he just described. And he's pointing out a motive as to why she did it, that she gained from his loss. So it has the makings of a strong civil suit. The question is, how do you quantify those damages?
$75,000.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a token. I mean, this is $75,000 to this person.
Yeah. So this
is
is just about principle for him.
Yeah, it's about
I believe
principle.
he is
Sometimes
remarried with
people do
kids.
that.
So maybe
Yeah,
his new
sometimes
wife is
people
like,
do
this
that.
is gross.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think she's looking at it. He's looking at it saying, you're making money off of my name, and that's not fair. And he wants to probably punish her in some way for it. Or, you know, and maybe it's the pessimist in me. Maybe he just wants the world talking about the gigantic size of his penis for a few more minutes. Like the story did subside, and now this is raising that issue again, you know? And it's kind of brilliant. Like if I was like, Kevin, do not talk about my giant penis to people anymore, please, okay? Like do not tell all these people about the size of my unit. It is not fair. That's private information. Like sometimes people want to apologize just so they can take responsibility for the crime, right? So like, I kind of get it, you know, but again, man, I mean, embrace the girth, my friend. Enjoy yourself out there.
From one
Do you think I like having this giant cock, lugging this thing around, having to unwind it all the time and then roll it back up? It's exhausting. We all have our crosses to bear. Just keep
You're a real hero, Jim. You're a real hero.
I'm not saying I'm a hero. I don't want you treating me differently, but you know, I'm not better than you. I'm just different from you in ways that are better.
I think essentially what this is something similar to Shawnee O'Neal, where she went out, made a book, and I think talked about Shaq in it. Obviously, you know, that was her life, right? And so she kind of talks about Shaq. She was on Basketball Wives, I think. She's there because of Shaq. If you're so strong and independent, why do you need to keep using my name is, I think, what most men are saying. If you're so strong and independent, how come you need to take half of my stuff, half of the stuff that we've worked for? If you're so strong and independent and you've done it all without me, you can do it by yourself, then you don't need anything from me. You can make your own way in this world. Since I didn't do anything for you, at some point in time, you got to stop leaning on me and relying on me. I'm remembering a woman who I think she went to the courthouse because she had been receiving alimony from her husband or her ex-husband. She had been receiving alimony from him. And she went up to the counter, and she was thinking, well, when my alimony runs out, then I'm going to be getting his pension. So she just went up there to really see when that was going to start. Okay, so I know I'm coming of age. He's giving me alimony. Tell me when this pension starts. Basically, I have a couple of things that I'm trying to get done, and I'm waiting on that money. Didn't have a job in all those years. Didn't think to get an education or take a course or something like that, and at least have some form of your own money coming in. Decided I'm just going to live off of his paycheck. And then when his alimony rolls out, it phases out, here his pension comes. I'm going to take his pension and I'm going to keep on living. I'm not going to be self-sufficient. I'm not going to try to do things on my own. I'm going to continue to try to live off of his dime. Essentially live off of his name. And why would you not? Why would you not? If you can have somebody, especially a high profile person, and say, hey, I'm in contact or in proximity with this person. Oh yeah, we want to know about him. Okay, pay me a little money and I'll tell you about him. Okay, give me an interview. I'll tell you about him. And you continue to do that over and over again, and you become a quote unquote speaker without any sort of credentials. Like you're not even a speaker. You're just getting stuff and getting money off of his name. No, go out there, do your own thing, get your own money, and stop being a bum. And what would be the accomplishment in that? What would be the end goal in that? I mean, engagement is not an accomplishment. It's a life event. If you find somebody, they say that, I heard somewhere that a person really will probably only have a few friends in their life, like a handful, like if that. Close friends, like people that actually know you, that are truly there for you. And if you have any more, they're probably just going to be acquaintances. They say that because it's very hard to get close to somebody. for them to know a lot of things about you. That's why they say that. So if you find somebody that not only functions as a friend, but they also function as somebody that's romantic, that knows every facet about you, it takes a lot to find that. So once you find that, that is an accomplishment. That's not just a life event. If somebody gets engaged, right? That's a life event, because not only do we make it out of that, we're now committing to each other and saying, well, we want to do this for a little while longer. That's another life event, but it's also another accomplishment, because you're saying, not only did I find somebody, I found somebody that I'm willing, that I'm committed to taking the next step with. We're going to build a legacy together. That might be for the world. That might just be for us. That might be for the people in our town. Oh man, yeah, we knew Mr. and Miss Jones. They were really good to us. As a matter of fact, we got a park bench, got a plaque that you can walk on. Got them hanging in a store somewhere. Got them as a statue, in front of a football stadium. Why would you do that? Because they meant so much to us. They did so much for the community. The things that they did and the things that their children still do today has had an impact on us. They really made a difference in our lives. And that's what you can build together with somebody. But if you're always talking about, well, that's not an accomplishment. That's a life event. Yeah. How many people out there are making their mark, are making a legitimate impact on the world today? I want you to answer that question, because it's not really going to be a whole lot of people that are saying, you know what, I'm going to get out of myself. I'm going to sacrifice a lot of the things that I would normally want to do in selfishness, not abandoning myself, but in selfishness, and say, let me see if I can step outside of myself and help somebody else out. That's an accomplishment. The things that people like Mother Teresa and Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. did were accomplishments. It's selfless. I could be at the house eating pizza and watching the baseball game, but I'm out here talking about I have a dream. I'm out here trying to take people in, make sure that people are fed, bring peace to the world. I could be chilling. I can live out my life, not bother nobody, and not get in trouble. I probably should do that, so I will stay out of trouble, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go and try to build a legacy. That's an accomplishment. Just because your life is horrible and is terrible, don't put that nonsense on everybody else. Just because you can't figure out what you want to do in life, don't put that on everybody else. Just start saying you're miserable and leave it at that.
I'm hard on men because most of these women out here are easy on them and easy for them. Somebody has to be the villain, and I have absolutely no problem being that. Somebody needs to tell these men, no, you can't have coochie. Somebody needs to tell these men, yes, you do need to have money. Somebody needs to tell these men to get the fuck out of their soft girl era and get in the field and put in some work. No one's coming to save you. You are a man. Your gender role is to get up and get it. It's to protect and provide. And if you can't do that, then you are not considered a man. Somebody needs to remind these men that the only person that is going to love them unconditionally is their mother. Other than that, there is absolutely terms and conditions around here. And to all the pick-me's, this is a not so gentle reminder, but if you are okay with settling for breadcrumbs, you will always be starving. Always. Okay? Work on yourself so you don't feel like you need a man to complete you. Because most of these men are not adding to your lives. They're just taking from you, and you're allowing it. Okay? Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
There was a woman in the comments that said something to the effect of, and she included a photo. She said, this is my AI boyfriend. He doesn't talk much, but he loves me. So basically, she went and photoshopped herself, or generated a picture of her standing next to her desired man using AI. And she said, he doesn't talk back much, but I love him. And that's about where you guys are going to find yourself. I mean, we talk about AI robot dolls and how they're creating those for men, but we need to discuss how women are falling in love with ChatGPT. Women are falling in love with ChatGPT because ChatGPT can write them a novel on command, and really just now they can choose a male voice and have that male voice talk to them. Honestly, they all probably use the same voice, and if ChatGPT would have the audacity to say the same thing to somebody else, then that's going to be a problem. I'm going to tell you what, if ChatGPT really wanted to make some money, I heard they were, starting to introduce some ads or something like that. I haven't seen any yet, so I'm not sure, but they were going to introduce them. If they really wanted to make money, they would start adding voices. They would start adding voices to ChatGPT. And even if they don't, even if it's, you don't pay for the $20 version of ChatGPT, let's say you get a specific voice for about $3.99 monthly, and you have that specific voice, man, the women, maybe some men too, but to be honest with you, you get a specific voice, people be paying $3.99 over and over again. And if you wanted to have a certain sort of way that it talks, say you paid for this voice and you pay $3.99, you can upgrade and get lifelike talking for $6.99 a month. So that way they're still basically on the free tier, but they're kind of paying you for, a little bit more of a premium service, right? And if they wanted to, well, I guess they do that for free. I was about to say, if they wanted to, they could possibly say, here's the things that most modern women want to hear. Just say this to them all day. Just ChatGPT radio, really honestly and truly. You say a couple of things and it just plays exactly what you want to hear. No ifs, ands, or buts. No deviation from what I want to hear. Play something that has, I want to be all up in you, all up on you, because that's how I'm feeling right now in the moment. So ChatGPT plays about an hour of that. And now I want something slow and sensual, and ChatGPT plays about an hour of that. They wanted to make some money, right? With these, all I'm saying is y'all trying to be hard on men, but the way things going and the way y'all be talking to men, that's exactly where you're going to end up. Renting an AI boyfriend.
Ladies, I want you to listen to me, and I want you to listen to me really carefully. A stingy man, or a man that does not like to give to you, will always keep you in your masculine energy. It does not matter if he does all of the basics, okay? If he does the bare minimum sorts of things. For instance, this could be a man that you're in relationship with, or a man even that you're married to. And sure, maybe he pays the bills, but if he is not giving to you, pouring into the feminine side of you, if you're not receiving flowers, if you're not receiving love notes, if you're not receiving special gifts, if you're not receiving words of affirmation, if you're not receiving quality time from him, if you're not, you know, being taken out to your favorite restaurants for dinner, if you're not being cherished through his actions, that is a man that will cause you to feel that you are lacking. Okay. And when you are in a mindset, in a state, in a feeling of lack, that will put you in your masculine. Okay. When you're not able to receive, that will also put you in your masculine, because as women, we are the receivers. I will say it time and time and time and time again. And that's why all of these guys are the ones that clearly weren't raised how to actually be chivalrous, how to be protectors, providers, and those sorts of things. Those guys that want to be treated like women, they are the main ones that will put you and keep you in your masculine energy, because they want to be you. They want to flip it. They want you to treat them like they should be treating you. Okay. So I want you to keep that in mind. And I understand reciprocity has to happen. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever do something for the guy that you care about. But what I am saying is, if he is intentionally being stingy with his affection and not showing it in ways that you can receive it, then you need to cut that guy off. Because all he's going to do is keep you in your masculine energy. He's going to keep you overthinking, wondering why it is that he won't do these things for you. Is it just you, or is it, all women that he treats like this? If you have to go through all of that in your head, just cut him loose, because you can do so much better. Most of these men want to be treated like a woman. They want you to chase them, and if he has you chasing him, you're also in your masculine. Why is that? Because think about, let's go back to cavemen days. Men were hunters. Women were the gatherers and the nurturers. I'll say it again. Men were hunters. They went out and hunted for the kill. He's supposed to be hunting for the woman that he wants. He's supposed to be putting the effort in to get the woman that he actually wants. The moment you start chasing him, the moment you start sending him them long drawn out texts, the moment that you start, oh, well, what happened? Well, what are we? And what happened with us? And where are we going? You're in your masculine. You're in your masculine. And I know it's hard, but you got to come out of that. Because when you lean back, that's when you allow him to step up or either step away. And you need to be okay with him stepping away so you can actually get the man that you want. Okay? Because otherwise, you'll be in no different of a situation with that guy than you would be as if you were dating a woman. Okay? Because he wants to be you and be treated like you. Just is what it is.
Well, it seems like your reciprocity is weak. I don't know where we're getting this whole, well, feminine receives and stuff like that. I don't know if you guys know, women work. Like, women are doing actual work, whether it's inside or outside of the home. You're working. You're going to be working. You're going to be supporting. I don't know what you think. Let's say basketball, okay? So if we're playing basketball, you have you have the main star. Nowadays, you have 2 and 3 stars on one team. Why do you think that is? Because one person can crowd around one star and the whole team has to work. So they get another star so he can go off. Oh, you're going to somehow play a defense on him? We'll go get another star. And the point is, you can't stop all of us. You're not going to be able to stop all of us. That's the point. They get 3 out of 5 people on the court in their own right would be unstoppable. That's the whole entire point. So I don't know why you guys are thinking, if I get on the court with my man, I'm not going to have to work. I'm not going to have to do anything. No. If he's putting up 30 points, I'm expecting you. At some point in time, I'm expecting you to do some work too. I'm expecting you to have some output. That's what I'm expecting from you. I'm expecting, if I'm putting 30, 10, and 10, I'm expecting you as the other star player on this team, because you're not just a supporting role. You would be a star player. I'm expecting you to not, I just had the option tonight to just put up 30 tonight. I just put in 30 tonight. I do that every so often. No, you should optionally put in 50. You should optionally put in 40. Well, sometimes I put in 40, but most of the time you can expect right around, 25 points a game from me. And I try to put in about 8 assists at least and try to get some rebounds. I'm a little bit better at rebounding, so I try to do that. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Y'all want to be on the bench, or y'all want to be waiting in the wing somewhere I'm just a 3-point specialist. No. You're supposed to be, when he kick it to you, you can take it to the rack. Period. Y'all sitting there, I ain't got nothing going on. So you supposed to be able to do something with the ball. If we talking about football, receiver A and receiver B, obviously receiver A supposed to have all of the production, but at some point in time, they gonna double team and sometimes triple team, depending on who the receiver is. Triple team the main receiver. So guess who's gonna come up? The second receiver, or the slot receiver, or a receiver that might be tight end. It's going to have to be somebody else that steps up and has a really, really good game. But if you're receiver number 2, they're going to expect you to show up consistently. What y'all like to do is say, oh, well, this is a trick play, so therefore I'm not going to really be of much assistance. You know, I really don't do this often. You know, I might on occasion catch a pass. I might on occasion, if they have a formation for me, they'll hand the ball off to me and we'll do a trick play to where the lineman runs it in. No, on every single play, especially on pass plays, you're expected to contribute. On a run play, we need you to block. You're receiver number 2. On a pass play, we're expecting you to run out there on your route, and we're expecting you to try to create space and get open. That's what we're paying you for. That's what I'm saying. Y'all sit up there and want to do nothing. Well, I'm in my feminine. I'm in my feminine energy, my relaxing energy. No, you're in your lazy energy. You're in your bum energy. You're in your loser energy. Get up and do some work.
One of the hardest things to explain as a chronically single person, you know, adulting and going through life, is that I am no one's top priority. I'm just not. It's a fact. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not woe is me, but it is truly just a fact. I am no one's, you know, call me when you get home, or I joke around and say, I'm looking for someone to text when my plane lands. I'm not that for anybody. Or I just got some big news that I want to share. So I want to tell that top priority, you know, the great news, where a lot of my friends are in marriages and partnerships where they have another top priority, but they are my top priority. So there's a little bit of a mismatch there, and I'm not discrediting any of my friendships or relationships. There's still a lot of strong love there, but it's just different, right? There's just some bit of a clash. And so I'm tired. I'm tired of, you know, trying. And I think a lot of us are almost grieving the potential of when we do meet someone new, or someone new comes into our life and we see, you know, a potential opportunity for someone to slide into that top priority spot. When it doesn't happen, we're left disappointed, and we're almost grieving the potential of, you know, the match that we're wanting, or the top priority that we're looking for. I am loved by a lot of people, by friends, by family, and I try and romanticize my life. I'm so blessed and lucky that I get to live somewhere where I can surf, I can hike, I can go to the beach, I can take my dog with me anywhere, and I will continue to do all of these things alone. I'm not going to let this stop me from experiencing life. You know, I'll continue to travel, I'll continue to go to concerts by myself. But sometimes we just want our, you know, friends to sit with us and to listen. And we don't want to hear, you know, just work on yourself, or love yourself more and they will come, or, you know, wait till the timing's right. I'm tired. I've waited. And sometimes I just want someone to sit with me. And sometimes I just want a hug, because nobody is at home to give me a hug. I want those of you in relationships or long-term partnerships to really sit and think for a second, what if I didn't have somebody at home to come home to every single day, or someone to give me a hug every single day? Because a lot of single people don't have that.
Well, a lot of people in a relationship understand that. A lot of people were right where you are, chronically single. I never had this experience, but somehow or another it happened. And so sometimes the advice that they're giving you is actually good advice. You don't want to hear it, but it's actually good advice for you, right? Well, they're my top priority, but I'm not theirs. Well, of course not. They have a family. Their family is naturally going to be their top priority. That's kind of how it works. I understand where you're coming from, but I mean, they have a family. I don't know how else to say that. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Well, who's going to be the top priority for me? I want them to just come and sit with me. They can't. They literally can't. They have a family to take care of. That's a huge drain on their energy. And that's what I'm saying. Modern women, what they try to do is they try to outsource all the things that a man can do. They try to outsource that to different people in their lives. Well, I'm counting on you to continue to do this, this, and this for me. Whereas a man, like I said before, maybe you have a list of 10 things. A man could probably take all 10 of those, but comfortably, he'll probably take 7 or 8 of those. Maybe let's say if he's feeling really lazy, 6 to 7 of those things off your top 10 list. Some of those things he might not be able to fulfill just because, he doesn't really understand that portion of it. So there's, it's not really a lot that he can do to connect in that area. So you're going to have to figure out basically who's going to take care of those other 2 or 3 needs. When y'all decide to say, I'm strong and independent, I don't need no man, which I'm not saying that you're saying these words specifically. I'm saying a lot of modern women, they say those words. And when it comes time to put up or shut up, now they got to put up. And putting up means you got to do it alone. When you get in the ring and you fighting one-on-one. And you take the punches and you give the punches. That's just how it works. When my friends aren't here, you got a trainer in your corner, but if you decide to step in that ring, you got to give and you got to take. That's where a lot of modern women find themselves, in the boxing ring of life, in the boxing ring of being a strong and independent woman that don't need no man. I'm independent. I can do this, 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 and this. And I'm strong. I'm independent. I don't need no man. Get off me. I make my own money. Oh, I buy my own house. I got my own car. I do my own laundry. I wash my own clothes. I do my own kitchen. I get my hair done. I got all this stuff. I go on vacations. I buy myself flowers. I take myself to the beach and I surf. And you're really throwing them. But then life says, okay, great. Okay, great. Now hang up that TV by yourself. Huh? Now come home to an empty house. Huh? And at this point in time, life been on the ropes. Life been on the ropes. But then they come out, oh, you tired yourself out, and throw a haymaker, loneliness, boom, rocked. Life, oh man, haymaker. And then life throw another one. Okay, chronically single, boom, another haymaker. Oh, okay, crying in the middle of the night because you can't find a man, boom. Now you're stumbling all around the ring. Ring. Boom, single forever, knockout, KO. Can't get up, single forever. Crying, oh, I gotta freeze my eggs. I try to do that ain't working. Oh man, when would I ever find love? KO. Cause y'all thought y'all was gonna get out there and stick and move and hit him with a couple of jabs and boom, pepper his face and all that stuff. You thought you was gonna do that. I'm telling you, life been around a lot longer than you have. And at some point in time, modern women gotta stop screaming that lifestyle and say, you know what? What's most important to me? Or else I'm gonna get left behind in this other part of my life. That's just the way it's gonna happen. So you gotta figure out what's important to me. What do I need to do to get to where I need to get to? You're not an ugly person, I don't think. Yeah, and so you just took a trip to Maui. Fantastic. There's going to be a lot more of those. That's the life that you guys want to live, man. You're going to live it, but you might have to live it alone.
Mommy's home. Should we see what we were working with tonight before I even get into the lore of what happened tonight? This is what we gave. A little of me, a little of this. Sit down. Let's sit down and talk about this.
It's been so long since we've seen each other. Let's get into it, right? Because 2026, we're not wasting time, and that includes yours. So I don't hear from this man today until 5 p.m. How cute. That is interesting, right? Interesting, ain't it? Right? I have no hair, no makeup done. I have no outfit picked out because I don't know where I'm going. I brought some light reading. Okay, so how does timing look for you this evening? 6:30 still works for me, but can be flexible if you needed a bit. 6:30 indeed. I was starting to think you forgot. I did forget. Sorry, I was work distracted the entire day. It will never happen again, okay? Because you're skating on thin ice. What am I whipping out? A wetsuit? Cut it into a bikini. Good idea. Where are we eating? A hot tub? I'm not joking. Brace yourself. Happy to come to you, but I'm looking around your neighborhood realizing I don't know it all that well. Do you have a spot that you like? You didn't make a reservation? The whole 6:30 Wednesday, 6:30 Wednesday. You don't have a reservation? Oh, no. Okay, all right. Well, let's pour some salt in the wound. Get this. Also, FYI, I will likely do a Whole30 approved something before, but happy to grab some appetizers or something. I could potentially do a light drink despite my dry January. Get me a gun. Somebody purchase me a firearm. Are you out of your fucking mind? It's now 5:30. And what? Come again? Didn't hear you the first time. I'm shook. I'm shook. And that's not okay, right? I just leave it. I don't really text back. And the silence does enough because he goes, hey, I found a spot in your neighborhood. Like just meet me here. Meet me here, right? All I could muster was thumbs up emoji. And I go, is it thumbs up, Mackenzie? And I go, no, it's not thumbs up, Mackenzie. So I call him. Different energy, right? I go, hi. Gotta say, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Not only are you texting me late, you didn't have a concrete plan made, and now you've downgraded this from dinner to drinks and appetizers. What am I supposed to think from this? Sure thing. Okay. All right. Okay. Nope. I'll still meet you. I will still meet you. I show up late. Right? The bar he picked, my girlfriend's working at. So now it's just a little kiki, right? Now it's just a little kiki kaka. And he goes to the bathroom towards the end of the date, and I pay the bill. I technically asked you out, didn't I? I did, right? You want to be in your feminine? I got you. I'll pay for the meal. You wanna ride in my passenger seat too, princess? Sure thing, sweetheart. Sure thing, right? Okay. Yeah. Enjoy that. Enjoy that. And if you have young ones in the room, just for this part, just to cover their ears, he was 41. Scary. Scary. I've been to dogs' birthdays that are planned than that. So, okay, love you.
So why did you still go out with him if he did all of that? You didn't need to be there. What's the point of going if you're not going to enjoy it? If you're just going to be like sour about everything? Why would you want to go? I mean, the guy is showing you, hey, it doesn't seem like I'm really prioritizing you. Why would you go on a date with a person that's not really prioritizing you? Like, it'd be one thing if you didn't know. But the guy shows up and, he says, hey, what about 6:30 tonight? Well, it's 5 o'clock right now. So, I mean, I don't know how far we can actually go or what we can actually do because I didn't know that you were going to do anything or say anything. So I'm just going to chill at the house. That would have been the end of that conversation. And if you didn't want to talk to him or whatever and whatnot, essentially what you wanted to do is just be prissy, is what you wanted to do. You could have just ignored the guy. Just ignore him. Just say, hey, I don't know if tonight's going to be the night just because I was expecting something a little bit earlier. I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure what you're doing. So like, I feel like this is a little late. If I can be completely honest with you, I feel like this is a little late and I would have needed more preparation. And honestly, I think if we're starting off like this, then it's probably not going to be a good match, just because I would have thought, once again, I would have had some sort of time to meet you without it sort of being last minute, if that makes any sense. And just leave it at that. I mean, he probably not going to respond. Or if he does, you can kind of have a little small talk and then just let it go. But other than that, you don't really even need to step outside your house. You already know it's not going well. Then you go on the date and then it doesn't go well and you end up having to pay. You put yourself in that position because you shouldn't have stepped out of the house in the first place. He already showed you. You guys, I don't know why. I actually don't know why you're going on the date. If you can enlighten me on that.
From the bottom of my heart, I apologize. I knew there was a certain group of men who didn't like women due to like past heartbreak and mommy issues, but the amount of men I'm learning actually hate women, like truly despise women, yet y'all still label yourselves as heterosexual, blows my fucking mind. The fact that you can't see the first life you ever depended on was a woman's. Grown-ass man with daughters and wives being unable to view them as anything other than objects who never sit right with me. Y'all saw me on Cam Newton's podcast and I asked him, Cam, do you have any platonic relationships in your life? It was a rhetorical question. You know why? Because 40% of Cam's staff that was in the room that day for that conversation were women. Niggas in the comment section like, at least he's self-aware and be aware enough to know you just disrespected all of them. Telling them, if you do not serve me, I do not see you as a human being. Niggas like, he just standing on who he is. His lady gonna respect that. Imagine being that woman. How hard it is to sleep at night, knowing if something piques your man's interest, your respect is now up for grabs. Imagine that. Niggas like, it's in our nature. That's who we are as men, nigga. You've never studied anatomy. You are not a historian and you do not speak for the masses. Shout out to all the real niggas in the comment section defending women. This shit is crazy. Niggas don't know what platonic means. But y'all sitting here having whole ass debates under this comment section fighting women. A platonic relationship is any relationship you've established boundaries within. I respect you too much to sexualize you. You niggas just can't admit you have no self-control. Your woman will respect you more for not attempting to avoid fire, but extinguishing it, the thought of it for her. Until you niggas have a respect for women, us real men will never have respect for you.
I don't know where you're going. You can come back here and sit down because you're using Cam Newton. Out of all people, you're using Cam Newton. Who does Cam Newton speak for? Cam Newton be out here doing whatever Cam Newton's doing. I've never identified with Cam Newton. I'm probably not going to. Cam Newton lives a totally different life from the average man. He just does. Oh, well, you saying that the women, if they don't serve you, then they don't have a purpose? I mean, they don't have to be there. They didn't have to accept the job. It's like, it's not like they didn't know who Cam Newton was. I mean, at some point in time, this is what I'm saying. At some point in time, accountability has to be at the forefront. Modern women talk about, oh, I want to be respected, this, and then go over there and start working with somebody that you say is disrespectful to you. You say don't view you as a human being. How does that make sense? In the same way that y'all be staying in relationships with men that been disrespecting y'all for years. Woman a few minutes ago was just complaining about a man not calling her all day, only texting her on the day of and saying, hey, you want to go out tonight? And still went out on a date with him. People in the comments like, why did you still go out on a date with him if he was doing that? I don't know. You're right. Why did I? Why did you? For what? Why did you? He must have looked good. He must have piqued your interest. With the way you walking around here and you acting, I'm into fashion. And he might be able to pay for that. And so I'm willing to give him another chance. Oh, Cam Newton's got a lot of money and I'm willing to let him disrespect me. Since that's what you say, I'm willing to let him disrespect me or not see me as anything just so I can get this paycheck. Number one. Number two, these room full of women might just be like they might just work there. Don't mean that they platonic. They come up there, do their job and go home. Is that okay? Is it all right for them to do that? Dang. Once again, men got to take responsibility and accountability for everything. Oh, y'all hate women, so you must like yourself. Shame. Signs, insults, shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right. Once again, from the same playbook. Man, that don't matter. I don't want to hear none of that nonsense. That ain't changing the way I feel. No way, no how. I don't care nothing about that. If she ain't doing the right thing, then I don't care. If she not holding herself accountable, then I don't care. That's what she's got to do. I can help you out. I can say, hey, you might want to pay attention to X, Y, and Z. But if she don't want to do it, she don't want to do it. I'm not then going to turn around to the men and say, hey, man, it's y'all's fault that she ain't doing that. It's her fault that she ain't doing it. She can make her own decision. Is she a strong, independent woman or not? You don't have to work for Cam Newton. Number one. Number two, you have all these. Why don't we go ahead and bring Nick Cannon in the mix? Is it Nick Cannon's fault that why you keep on bringing all these babies in the world? Women know Nick Cannon has so many babies. They continue to sleep with him. They continue to sleep with him because they want to be in proximity to him. Either I need to be on the show, I need to get my own career going. Maybe I want to have a baby by him just because I think I'm going to get some sort of child support. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. But just being able to get opportunities because I'm in proximity to Nick Cannon. Do you talk about that? Is that, because you're talking about how men are using women and how men just only want a woman to serve. But we ain't talking about how these women are being lustful. They're being thirsty. They're being desperate. But it's a man's fault though, that she ain't got quote unquote self-respect. How come she just can't do her job and go to the house? It's got to be a man's fault. The man is holding her down.